Ned Fulemer's back, guys, and he dropped another banger after a banger. This time he's wearing a black shirt like a villain. I don't know if you've seen it. For whatever reason, he's dropped it on his second channel, which is called Ned Fulemer, and he's now the single try guy. He's got ridiculous comments. Everybody's been telling him to get out, and normally I don't have any issue with that, but seeing him come back time and time again, I think this guy is a chronic case of narcissism. And today we're gonna take a look at everything else on his podcast channel.
We are all being punished.
We're also going to take a look at all of the episodes after Ariel. I've noticed that his videos went from 1 million views to 50,000 to 20,000 to 10 to even less than 1,000 views is his newest video. And I'm seeing the drop off of the audience. And one quote lives in my mind. It's from Ariel Fulemer herself. He said that he's going to do other things and be like Try Guys. And she said, "You really think you're that interesting?" And I feel like today is a dissection of why he is absolutely not interesting. You should probably genuinely quit. I don't say that many times, but you should probably consider it. By the way, consider subscribing if you haven't, because I'm trying to beat Ned Fulemer, at least in wrestling or something. I do have more subscribers than him, but I would like to have 3 times as many as him. So if we could get to 900K, I'll be happy. Okay.
Alright, before we get into the chaos of this video, today's sponsorship is a paid partnership with Free Cash, and I gotta be honest, I was kinda skeptical at first, but then I gave it a proper go. Free Cash is basically a platform where you earn by doing simple things like taking surveys or playing games. I tried one of the game offers because obviously I got distracted, and it was actually decent. It took me a few minutes, I earned some coins, and that was that. The part that surprised me the most was the seamless finance side. Cash out was instant, no drama, no waiting. That's the thing I care about. If a platform can't handle payouts properly, I'm out. And because I'm paranoid about everything, I checked the reviews. Free Cash has a 4.7 Trustpilot rating with 250,000 people vouching for it. So yeah, I think they're safe to trust. If you want to try it, scan the QR code on screen at the top of the description. Have a look, see what offers you like, and use it however it fits into your savings plan. If you're trying to be smarter with your wallet this year, then give it a go. I know I did.
Hello.
Just start. Nobody wants the hello. Nobody needs that. This is already wrong.
I've heard a lot of the commentary and reactions to my podcast episode.
Honestly, I actually missed the vocal fry. He's so loud that the decibels are like peaking, and like you're hearing that distortion. Like it's like too much. So if you could tone it down, that'd be good.
Episode with Ariel, and I wanted to take this video to address some of them. That episode with Ariel was mostly about her story, and now in this video I'll tell a little bit more of mine. There's a lot that we wanted to keep private.
Is this his real voice, guys? Y'all watched Try Guys this whole time and he spoke like that and no one had a problem? He sounds like Kermit the Frog. Really? Okay.
But some things I'll touch on today. First, I know that it was a very painful and uncomfortable conversation to watch.
Oh my god, yes. And not even because of the subject matter, just the way that you did it was so fucking stupid. It's blatantly obvious now how absolutely mundane and paper thin his personality is. I just don't know where you'd go with this personality and what you'd be able to do and accomplish with this. Sorry, I honestly, I don't give a shit today. I just calling it like I see it, guys. Soz. For the 2 people who are like, he's a good guy, really. You marry him then.
The only way to move forward was just to face it head on. As has been reported in interviews, launching the podcast with a conversation with Ariel was Ariel's idea. She's a stakeholder in the Rock Bottom podcast and this new channel.
I don't know, because in this 9 minutes of truth that Ned Fulemer tells, he still is leaving out the detail that the channel was a family channel they were both involved in, and I think that might be the reason she's still on the channel. Now, I don't know, because he never talks about this. The fact that it was called like Baby Steps or something, I couldn't even find the videos. So I don't know to what degree she's a stakeholder, because she willingly said she's not going to come back to social media. That's a conflicting statement, but you either believe Ned, the person who cheated on his wife, or the producer, or the person who got cheated on. I'll tell you who I'm going with.
She wants it to be successful, so that was...
She wants it to be successful? Why'd she get you then? Oh, I'm sorry, but really? She wants it to be successful, you gotta replace the host. Just saying.
In terms of having that conversation, we did it together rather than on any other platform. We knew it would draw a lot of attention. I know that some of you have only seen 15-second clips of me putting my foot in my mouth.
You might as well put some balls in your mouth, sir.
I feel like that's gonna move some numbers. Somebody's gonna like that, Ned.
That you took something away from it. You know, any clip that you see on TikTok is just one small snippet of an hour-long conversation of 3 years of trying to work through that.
That's so stupid. I watched the whole podcast, and some people have watched the whole podcast. I would actually envy the people who only watch 15 seconds, seeing as it is the same goddamn thing every time. Like I said, the only good thing is if you want to get perspective on Ariel's whole thing, and the one thing where she ratioed him. Besides that, honestly, it's an hour of him being like, and then we did things, and that's how it went. And it's just so painful. I had to sit through that, but man, for a dude who does nothing, he certainly makes a big deal out of it.
After Discovery, I started an intensive program of therapy, group therapy, and work to really try to understand what I had done, why I had done it, and what it meant for my relationship and my life.
That's my favorite. I love that one. He went to therapy to understand what he had done, why he had done it, and how it affected people, I think he said. He doesn't know this, that you cheated on your wife. Why you did it? Because you're horny, and you probably had a power dynamic, and you thought you were the shit. Your ego probably took over, and then what it did was, now you don't have a family anymore, dude. Pretty simple. I feel like you didn't need the therapy. You could have came to me, paid me $2,000. I had to tell you that in 2 seconds. What the hell are you thinking?
This involved a lot of facing rationalizations, denials, minimizations.
I don't think there's rationalizing. I don't know how you do it. I would love to actually get inside the mind of someone who can walk me through how you can be like, no, but it's good for the relationship. It just seems like you're weak-minded. And if that's the case, you go to therapy before you fucking cheat, dude. I love how people do it the opposite way around. It's like, now that I fucked my life up, I need an old man to tell me how to fix it. Dude, seriously?
All of these mental clouds that help you continue behavior that you know is hurtful, and you still do it anyways. So it let me face the truth and acknowledge in no uncertain terms that I cheated on my wife with an employee of my business, and it...
Lol. Sorry, it's not a funny moment, but I finally said it. Finally, we got that out. It would have been nice to hear the second you started the other podcast, episode 1.
Hey, I'm Ned Fulemer. I fucked up so big. I lost my family. Let me talk about it.
At least someone would have respected you on that grounds, but you're just dancing around the subject like a ballerina. Now is like a bit too late to be doing this. Like, not even enough people have seen this video because they don't know it exists.
Caused her immense pain and shattered our marriage, and also caused a lot of pain to a lot of other people. Those were my...
Maybe he should do WWE wrestling and he should call himself The Pain. And when they announce him, they'll be like, oh, weighing in at 200 pounds, it's The Pain.
What has he done, Mike?
He cheated on his wife.
Oh, shit.
And he made his kids sad. And then he comes in the ring and everyone doesn't want to fight him. It'd be cool.
Selfish actions and my choices. From there, I sought to understand the patterns of behavior that led to this. I did work with internal family systems and parts work.
He works with Child Protective Services. Like, every time he sees the mirror, he's like, oh shit, that's who we're catching? He looks an awful lot like me. I like that. I like how people just blame, like it's a systematic failure and they need 100 people to fix a simple fallacy. Just don't cheat on your wife, dude. You have kids. I don't know how you need 100 people for this. I don't get that.
Started in the 12-step program.
You need 12 whole steps to tell you to keep it in your pants when you're working for a company and you're cheating with your employee. Are you Bill Clinton? Are you president of the United States? You need that Monica Lewinsky or something? Seems like you want to be like him.
In terms of my relationship with Ariel, it started as a therapeutic separation, and then from there I prepared a disclosure document that answered all of her questions and volunteered for a lie detector test to then, in a therapeutic setting, convey that information to her.
I was thinking about it, actually. I was talking about it to a friend and I said, this is really stupid that he needs to prepare a document. And we talked and I realized that maybe Ariel didn't trust this man so much that it was easier for her to actually get documentation and a lie detector than it was just to ask this fucker to answer questions. It just shows a lack of responsibility on his end to a point where she needs to intervene by using technology for him to get the truth out. That's just such a dystopian statement. I just feel so sad that she had to do that.
And this is a well-known therapeutic technique for people trying to recover from betrayal trauma. And speaking of betrayal trauma, that is a phrase that I learned.
In what? I'm sorry. That's funny. The word "speaking of betrayal trauma" shouldn't, like, what other scenario could you be like, speaking of betrayal trauma, I got a nugget for you guys. I have that. Oh, I'm sorry. I give that to people. They have it because of me. Like AIDS. I'm sorry. My bad. Sauce.
And integrity abuse and these ways that are, systems and language for understanding the pain and why keeping secrets like that, especially of a sexual nature, can be so damaging to you.
Why do you need people to tell you that hiding things from your wife is not going to end up being a good thing? The person who you vowed to take care of and you're trying to build a partnership with and you have kids with, you have what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, why? Who do you need? Do you need Jesus? If you're having those temptations, those thoughts, those are things to bring up. I'm not saying that every marriage is perfect. If you need a divorce, that might be a thing. I don't know how relationships work. I'm not in that position, but I certainly know that if I was in that position, I'd either make the decision knowing that's what I want, or if it comes to a point where I don't want that anymore, having the tough conversation rather than lying to your wife and kids. What are you talking about? How do you not know this is not good? Just like a 30-something-year-old man.
So those were things that I learned about and continue to practice on a daily basis when it comes to saying...
You gotta practice not cheating. Get a chastity belt or something for your balls. Just throw the key away or something. Leave it in your wife's hand so you have to get the key from her somehow. You have to sneak past her, get it from her hand while she's sleeping. Ned.
What I mean and doing what I say, and when I make a mistake, immediately correcting it to stay in with, keep my sense of integrity intact. Additionally, I practice empathy.
He's practicing empathy. She hands him a bowl. He's like, thanks, bitch. And then he's, oh, I'm sorry. Take two. Thank you, honey. Fuck. Almost got it. Oh, I'm gonna cheat on you. Sorry, my bad. Just constantly can't do anything with that. I gotta practice empathy, I gotta practice. She's saying she had a bad day, and he's like, yeah, I know. How do you not know these things? I'm just so perplexed, really. I'm so perplexed.
Is sort of part of what was damaged about my brain.
He's got brain damage, guys. Caught me off guard. He's like, other things that are damaged about my brain. Me, move up. That's his defense. Honestly, I feel like he could have walked in and she was like, you're cheating. He's like, brain damage. Me, boop, up. That's not a defense mechanism. You can't say me, boop, up. I saw what you did.
So from there, Ariel prepared an impact letter that described all of the pain that she felt, and I was able to hear that and take it in and sit with it to really understand all of the ways that my betrayal had affected her.
Again, the fact that she couldn't speak to him says so much more than the fact that she needed to write a letter. I don't think that, in a real life world, I mean, they did have a podcast and it took 3 years, so it feels like she could talk about it, but maybe not at the time. Shows how much it affected her. Really sad to hear this stuff. I don't even know if I fully grasped how shitty it was for her. Now hearing this stuff back and how much she probably had to deal with as a young person. This is terrible, man. You commit your life to someone and they have kids with you and then do this? There's nothing you can say. It's just really bad.
So this was a long process that took, approximately 2 years and continues work even to this day at the 3-year mark, even though we decided to separate officially 2 years in. It's something that I'm really proud of. That's...
Whoa, brain damage. There you go. There's your me, boop, bop. A little brain damage there. Not proud of that. Can't be proud of this. You can't. Unless you want to start this whole new villain arc, you can't say things like that, sir. I'm really proud of the fact that I ruined my life and my marriage and can't wait to do it again. Hopefully the next one.
It really changed my life.
It has. That's what I was... You cool with this? All right, you know what? Maybe he is proud. Maybe at some point he's like, yeah, best thing I ever did was leave my wife. I got a new family. I don't know. Maybe the brain damage is taking its course.
And, I understand that if a viewer is watching this for the first time or just sees this 15-second clip on TikTok, you don't understand everything that has led us to this point.
You don't understand me, bro. You're looking at TikTok edits, Ned Fulemer sexy, Ned Fulemer shirtless. You don't understand what it means to be me. You don't get it. From 15 seconds, you can't tell the pain that my wife had to go through because I exist. 15 seconds, you gotta watch more. What could you say, man? Do people need more than 15 seconds to sort you out? Doesn't seem like he's a very complex individual, just someone who's conflicted at his own life choices and inability to have discipline in certain situations. I don't know how hard it is to have employees and be like, I'm not gonna try and bang you. Do that outside of that, dude. Dude, fuck off. Are you stupid? That's all. I don't.
And I know that it'll take time. And if you want to just judge me off of one clip of me talking about society, which obviously was not the best response to that situation, you are welcome to do that. I know that people...
Does it sound like the Chris Brown song where Chris Brown goes, please don't judge me and I won't judge you, and everyone's like, I didn't do it, you did it. Why? Who's judging me? I remember that. I'm a fan of Chris Brown, but like, damn, bro, you call me out for nothing. This sounds like that. Everyone's like, hey, if you just watch a 15-second clip, actually, to be honest, you're the shitty person because it takes a whole hour to realize how much of a piece of shit I am. So, joke's on you. I think that they need a podcast with all of the failed YouTubers, like all of the disgraced ones. I don't actually know who's continually disgraced. Like Colleen, I guess, I think might be the only one who's still not getting any good reps. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe she is now. Everyone seems to forget. Their core audience is like, I love you again. So maybe Ned thinks it's a matter of time before people like, he never had fans. This might be the hard truth to swallow, but he was just part of a group and the group had fans. You're gonna learn that the hard way.
I know that people have a choice when it comes to what they watch and what they consume. And if people don't want to continue engaging with me
Nobody was engaging with you. Your wife's not even engaged to you. Like, fuck off, man.
on the internet, then that's a consequence of my actions and something that I have accepted. Moving forward, I really believe in the mission of the Rock Bottom podcast to foster conversations with empathy and curiosity. It stems from a lot of that group therapy work.
Yes, group therapy led him to he looked at group therapy and all the people who are like struggling. He's like, money, 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 money. I like this. What do you got? Cocaine addiction? Talk about it. What are you? Cheat on your... Oh, I was looking in a mirror. What are you? All right.
Someone sharing how they're addressing the wreckage in their life that they caused and how they're overcoming a challenge can really be a catalyst for healing. So if it's affected you so far, I'm grateful for that. And if you are wondering what the show is about, I encourage you to check it out.
Nah, I'm gonna check those 15-second TikToks. You don't get to decide that we're watching TikToks and you're like, check the whole episode out. Now you want us to watch the whole damn episode. I'm gonna watch the TikToks now. Nobody want to see that. Everybody only wanted to see Ariel's response for her. The views are pretty indicative that you went from 1 million to you're struggling to even get to 5,000 views. Sorry, sir. Nobody's even doing that. And people are like confused as to how you even have 60,000 subscribers. I was confused until the comment section told me that it was your other channel. That's how you got the subscribers. Feels like you literally just uprooted your old channel, tried to pretend that this is the new channel. It's yet again a lie, and foundationally you're doing the same thing that you did to your marriage. Who the hell is going to respect that? Why don't you start a new channel? Why don't you actually not buy views on your main channel? If you actually tried to do things without taking shortcuts, maybe people would respect you in some sense, but nobody's gonna do it like this.
And so that will be on the Rock Bottom channel, and on this channel it'll be more entertainment forward, still under the values of curiosity and empathy. I know people are saying that it's similar to some of the stuff I did before with BuzzFeed and Try Guys, and that's true. If
the Try Guys lose one more member, are they gonna be called the Bye Guys? I'm just saying. Anyway,
the DNA of stuff that I love making, mixing education with entertainment, and developing new show concepts that I'm...
You're the only person who's ever mixed entertainment with education before. I've never seen that ever happen ever in life. So thank you, Ned Fulemer. If you didn't exist, I don't think YouTube would exist. I don't think it's a stretch to say. So media in general wouldn't exist without you, sir. I hope you stay on social media because honestly, I'm gonna have to start reading books and I would rather die.
I'm really excited, but it's not gonna be too drastically different than the type of work.
Oh, okay, so I'd rather just watch the Try Guys then, because it's not going to be different, and I like those guys. Tough choice for a man like me.
Stuff that I like to make, and I sincerely hope that you are connecting with it and resonating with it, and if not, that's okay too. Like I said, it's a consequence of my actions. So that's the type of community that I'm building here. I'm grateful for you watching this video and listening, and I will see you around.
No, you won't. Even if he didn't cheat and stuff, I honestly think the content that he makes is so boring and flaccid that there is no point in watching it. There's no point watching him over someone who puts in work. Like, Veritasium is amazing. People who put effort into what they do, it shows, and it'll always show. They're original. They will break through no matter what. Like the Suvi channel. Anyway, I'm just saying, this dude is just cheats on his wife, starts a podcast, starts a main channel, explains that he's doing the content that he loves and it's now empathetic. Everybody hates it. I just want to show you a few episodes of how his podcast has gone after Ariel, because I know most people didn't watch it. So I'm not going to subject anybody to more than a few minutes, but I think it's interesting to see where he's gone. Has he become a better interviewer, or does he just stand there? I think this podcast is one of the lowest effort or value podcasts that I've ever seen. I'm very interested to see what you guys think. This is episode 2, where he has that girl called Laura Love Harden. Now, some of the guests on the podcast are actually decent people. Like, it has nothing to do with them. They're just on the wrong platform doing this. If they had the right platform to speak, I think it would go really well. But on his podcast, they're doing themselves a disservice, because everybody there is coming to see how Ned fails and normally don't like stuff like that. But in this case, I'm not against it. I'm not for it, but like, you made your bed, Neddy. His first guest after Ariel Fulemer, and it has 346 likes and 6,400 dislikes. Very not good.
When he grabbed my arm and he said, "You will never see your children again. You should not be anyone's mother."
If you or somebody you know has battled addiction, you're going to want to check this episode. Welcome to Rock Bottom. I'm Ned Fulemer. Today, my guest is Laura Love Harden. She's an author who overcame a battle with heroin addiction on her way to becoming...
Kind of crazy that he's like, I hit rock bottom, you hit rock bottom, and she's struggling with like this addiction while raising kids and things, something that's eventually turns into a triumphant story, because she's, like he said, she's on Oprah's best-selling list. He would be on Oprah's worst-selling list, because his chapter isn't finished. Like, he cheated on someone and nothing has changed, and now he's trying to start a podcast. Like, what would the story end? Like, what would be the good outcome, the resolution? Ned Fulemer, a former guy, he suffered with cheating on his wife. Now he finally got over cheating on his wife, and now he's got a new wife and a podcast because of cheating. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can all look at addiction and be like, that's a terrible thing. Like, I don't judge people. I don't think many people judge people for going in those holes. But you come out of it a better person. That's a pretty cool thing. It's kind of hard to be like, yeah, man, I lost my family and then I gained a new one. Like, I don't think people are going to clap for you. So this is very different.
In this episode, we dive into the pain and the secrets and all of the things that she was carrying while she was in her active addiction, and what that moment was like when the police showed up at her door.
So instead of actually just showing the podcast, Ned is so egotistical that I have to see his face for now 1 whole minute talk about what the podcast is about. I clicked on the podcast and somehow got an inadvertent ad about the podcast by Ned himself. This man is a absolute, if you take away the word genius, he's that business and how to actually sell his social media. You should really go back to uni for, I think he did chemistry. You gotta really lean on that degree, sir, because it's business and social media, not your thing. Not at all.
And she was arrested for stealing from her friends and neighbors to finance her addiction. The things that the police said, the things that the judge said, those are things that she had to face head on.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it sometime from her. I hope you have her on the podcast at some point.
And that were very painful. Her journey out of it, I think, is a really inspiring story, and I hope that you get a lot out of it. You know, addiction is cunning, baffling, powerful, makes people feel so alone, like there's no hope.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I'm so glad. You know what? Fuck the pod. I don't even need to hear what she says because he just told me how addiction feels, even though he's not dealing with it. Instead of reading the book or listening to the guest this is the equivalent of him bringing a doctor on and then being like, so the doctor said, this is actually why you're fat. It's because you eat too much sugar. And then you're like, what? So why do you even have him there? What are you doing? He has to be, this is the only sequence in which he can talk, because when he's with the podcast guests, he's like, I don't know how to have a conversation. But when he's alone, he's like, yes, finally I can talk to the audience.
And I hope that with
we're still going, Ned.
that you who are listening that feel like a sense of community.
I feel like I want to do drugs.
This show is part of my desire to build a more curious and empathetic world. You know, I've seen firsthand how much shares in group settings can help promote healing and help promote honesty and ownership, and letting people feel like they're, you know.
Are you serious, dude? You wouldn't just have the podcast in your kitchen and imagine the guests? Is this actually happening? Oh my goodness gracious. You suck. You suck. You suck.
There is hope. Thank you. Thank you for being...
Fuck off, man. Thank you for being here is not what you say at the start of the video. Oh, it's like watching a movie with the credits at the start. They stopped doing that. You know, they used to do that in movies, and then at some point someone was like, what if we didn't? And then movies got way better. I hate this.
Laura, welcome to Rock Bottom. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I never planned on being on rock bottom again, so.
Now, let me read you some of the comments from that podcast. No way he decided to continue doing this after reading the comments. I wouldn't dare. Ariel clocked it. You're not interesting enough. Sorry, bud. I couldn't agree more. Amazing how the super fake low pitch and ridiculous vocal fry has disappeared. That's true. He's like back to normal now. He's not sad Ned anymore. Exploiting people with real problems to absolve your own guilt is not the flex you think it is, Ned. You continue to show yourself, which is probably the most poignant comment. Showing himself is exactly what he's been doing. I think that's the most important thing I've learned. He is so exposed as a person now that he has nobody to countermeasure his actions. Now let's look up the next episode. This episode is with someone else. It's called Shannon Beater's Rock Bottom, Infidelity, DUI, and Real Housewives. 2.5 thousand dislikes, 168 likes. Not looking good. People are still not liking this. Will he learn and actually start the damn thing?
My guest today is Shannon Bedour. She has...
Okay, he's improved a lot. He's on the set, which means he's not talking in his stupid kitchen. This is already better. Thank you, Ned, for listening from that one episode. I think we're friends now.
Has been through a lot, a very public infidelity, scandal, and
Yeah, just her though, right?
divorce. She had a DUI, which she sought treatment for.
Okay, dude, like seriously, we're gonna do this at the start? Like, we're gonna just talk about her my next guest is black. She's stupid. I think she's a whore. She's been drinking. I think she does crack. And she's a really bad mother. Give it up for her.
She is a Real Housewife of Orange County, and her new show, Love Hotel, is on Peacock. I'm very excited.
I like how the last one, he was like, she went from addiction to being Oprah's bestseller. This one was like, lately she had a DUI, and she's a housewife. Let's give it up for her.
Excited to chat with Shannon today. I think it'll be a really interesting conversation. No idea what to expect.
Shut the fuck up and actually just let someone talk. I don't care what you think the conversation... If I was his manager, I would fire myself.
I think being an internet celebrity is kind of like doing reality TV in that you're like letting a lot of your...
Ned is so narcissistic. He's like, she's on reality TV, which is actually, if you think about it, that's pretty much what YouTubers like me and me do. So I think actually I'm just going to cut off her mic and listen to myself talk.
To yourself be known out there, but she's really been in it. She's been doing it for over a decade. It's incredibly funny and very vulnerable. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Maybe me too, if you ever get to it. Jesus Christ.
So without any further ado, here's my conversation with Shannon Bedour.
Cool. We actually shaved 40 seconds off because he took 2 minutes last time. I got 40 seconds on the clock to hear him talk. Let's go.
Shannon Bedore, welcome to Rock Bottom.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Rock bottom.
Yes, that's right.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's a show about people's lowest moments and
Yeah.
how they recovered from them.
Yeah, I've had my fair share.
Yeah, I know. I've been reading about you and watching.
This is disgustingly bad. It's so awkward already, and I don't understand why he wanted to be a guest or a host if he couldn't actually make someone feel like they were comfortable. They're doing that awkward laugh that you do when you meet someone on, like, I don't know, a dating app, and you're like, what's your favorite pizza? Why?
How do you approach that public, private? Because so much of the show, you're like revealing parts of yourself.
Right. If someone does approach me, I'm kind to them because, first of all, that they have the courage to do that because I don't that I would. But, you know, they always say kind things. So I always take the time and, you know, get to know a little bit about them or give them a little tidbit of something.
I don't think he's good at anything, but like this is particularly bad. It's like the whole show is predicated on you started at this horrible place, this vulnerable place. Everybody, all two people who are clicking on it are like, I want to hear about that. And he's like, yes. How do you balance being on camera with being off camera? Because I have a hard time, clearly. I don't know if you know about my situation. Really hard time not being with my producer 24/7. You could say that. Let's look at some of the comments. Your next guest should be Alexandria, who is the person he treated with. Quick reminder, this was Ned's family channel he ran with Ariel before he was outed for cheating. Now he has the balls to turn it into something only he has control over. The audacity on this creep. I appreciate that people are calling him out, to be honest. I really just don't have any respect for this dude. Okay, we've got a couple more to go through. This is the next one. And this one is particularly interesting, not really for the subject matter, but the comment section. But let's take a look at this.
He turned out to be a racist, and he was going race by race, and then he very casually opened the glove box and pulled out a serrated knife. I was like, I'm gonna die, but also I was like, I deserve to die.
Karan Sunny, welcome to Rock Bottom.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Of course, thanks for having me.
You walked here.
There it is. There we go. He finally figured out not to talk and for 2 minutes tell us about the guest. Someone must have told him. He must have figured out, yeah, I'm going to shut the hell up. And you can actually see that because there's a cut after he introduces him because whoever produced the show is like, you need to shut up. So they cut all that out and now we're just getting straight into it. So we got 2 minutes to actually listen. Let's see if his interviewing skills are really good.
Here.
I did walk here, yeah.
Which is impressive in Los Angeles.
Yeah. I walk anywhere within an hour.
Anywhere with so this is like a policy.
Yeah, but 61 minutes? No.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Immediately out.
Yeah.
What's the longest?
My brain can be like, it's fine.
This is a long time for your brain to be
There's
saying
a lot
that.
going on up there. But yeah, I love,
It sounds like he has brain damage, doesn't he? Like, people are talking at normal speeds. He's like, 50 minutes is pretty far. Why does it sound like that?
Yeah.
And the weather's nice, so I was just like, I want to do this. And then I don't mind driving, but I just feel very at peace when I walk versus driving. Although nowadays in LA, walking is getting a little precarious because there's a lot of characters out on the streets. And if that's ahead, I'm going to cross the street because I never used to be like someone.
Honestly, though, if he smoked crack, you can get to like from one end of LA to the other end of LA in about 3 minutes.
And she said, you know, I would just recommend, like, every instinct in her was like, I probably shouldn't walk by this person. I don't know what's going on. But she kept going. So now I'm the first one to be like, nope. Just zigzag. So it's become less meditative and more just, yeah. And I learn lines by walking. I cannot memorize unless.
Actually, it's been 2 minutes. Ned has not said anything. I'm not saying that like a guest shouldn't listen, but nothing has been said by Ned. That should be his podcast name. Nothing said by Ned. He just sits there and looks dumb for an hour.
I'm moving. It's this really weird thing. So I truly look unhinged. Out there, just
You're just walking down the street talking to yourself.
Talking to myself.
All right, he's just repeating things like a parakeet. Cool, no interviewing skills whatsoever. He just exists. He's just a waste of space. Let's look at the comments because this is where things take a turn, right? This is where you get some of the most crazy comment section that I've seen, and the reason is because everything seems normal for like a little while, and then like I noticed something. It was someone who was commenting on every Ned Fulemer post because every post had like 20 replies, and I'm like, who's fighting in the comment section? And it turns out there's someone called, like, their name is DearG1. This is the comment. I applaud his lack of shame for putting out content for the internet which hates him almost in its entirety. And then the reply is someone saying Ned did nothing wrong. So now I was like, holy crap, he's got a defender. This person has continued on every post, every comment that has anything to do with Ned. So then someone else says, this is pretty much objectively wrong, but even if it wasn't, it doesn't change the fact he's posting to an audience that does not like him. Nope, he did nothing wrong. Stop harassing and leave him alone. You have to be Ned. You're on every video saying he did nothing wrong. Please learn what harassment really is. You're using it so loosely in this context is actually really manipulative and offensive. And then someone else replying says, yes, he cheated on his wife. That's wrong. He betrayed the trust of those who loved him and destroyed his family. Shut up. And the reply, you're harassing an innocent person. Stop being toxic and leave him alone. And this is the comment that this account leaves on everything. That is like their copy and paste. You'll actually see it if you go there now on any video that you want. The only other comment on this episode that was good is someone comparing him to OJ Simpson by saying this is like OJ Simpson launching a relationship advice podcast. So, with that being said, let me just show you one more, actually. I think this is cool. This is with someone who actually apparently is not a good person anyway. Like, it's Rock Bottom Podcast, but like the couple people I saw talking about her were like, she's actually despicable too. So I feel like Ned should lean into it or do the other way around. Like, it's kind of weird that he's not doing it, but he got a guest who is catching flack, and I thought that was interesting.
And in such a dark place, and I was trying to keep it all together for social media.
I'm sitting here with Lee Tillman, a former wellness influencer and author of the upcoming memoir, If You Don't Like This, I Will Die. And I certainly can relate to that sentiment.
Okay, so this is the part, like, I just thought was funny. The amount of cuts that you see are, like, really, there's too many cuts. With podcasts, I'm not saying that there's no cuts, because there could be content that just is flat and that you need to cut out. But when you have a side-by-side, you have to have like a natural conversation. There's so many times where Ned is cutting after saying one line, which means somehow in between the one line, he said something wrong that he needed to cut out. It makes me wonder if he's even capable of having a human conversation. I'm just so perplexed at how you need so many cuts to do anything.
And I'm looking forward to chatting with you.
I'm excited to chat.
So there was a cut, right? After he said that, there's something he might have said like, oh, you're sexy. And then they're like, cut that. Jesus Christ, just go back to the podcast. I don't know what he's doing in between that, but it's something that's clearly not good enough.
Thanks for having me on.
You know, I saw...
There's another cut. He could, after she said thanks for having me on, he would be like, why don't I come in? And then, fuck, Ned, just don't.
He was at that, so I think I saw you talk.
Oh, cool. Amazing.
What is de-influencing? Why don't we start there? Walk me through what that was all about.
So the de-influencing term that is most known to people on TikTok is...
Do you know, as a person without OCD, this is annoying me. I can only imagine people with OCD. The fact that she's taking up more than half of the screen is... Because I feel like he must have edited this and he didn't know how to have a proper ratio of the screen. And like, I think as any cinematographer, this is killing me. But like, as an OCD person, I can imagine like, why, dude? Why?
Cost to it, and I think one that people don't really understand or appreciate. It's especially interesting when you see that most teenagers now want to be a YouTuber, want to be an influencer. It's kind of a sought after career. I'd love to get into that, of course, but how did things begin for you? You know, how did you kind of get into
the girl's podcast, and then he leans in and he gets too close to the camera and he laughs, and it reminds me of Squidward. I just put up Squidward there because I want you guys to see this.
But do you see him?
Hello.
Pretty sure that's the same person. I think we can end that there, guys. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much just describes him. Unoriginal, and the original was better. Most of the comments are sort of the same. People saying, give the people what they want, do an episode with Alex, which I honestly would want to see. Put the fries in the bag, which is genuinely, I think, where it's going, to be honest. Someone said you should invite Colleen Ballinger on. And yes, yet again, in the comments, there's that person, Dear Jing1, replying, saying, stop harassing him, leaving alone, you're
toxic, stop harassing, leave him alone. He did nothing wrong, and stop, leave him alone. It's a shit show down there. This podcast has guests that people don't like. It is currently, the most recent guest did nothing wrong. It's Phil Lamar, someone who's done voices and is a voice actor, pretty renowned. He's done nothing wrong, doesn't have any scandals. He hasn't hit rock bottom. So the podcast has lost its actual meaning. The whole idea of the podcast was about people who are struggling and coming up from that hole. This most recent podcast is just about voice acting. Everything that he's ever done has been a lie. He's lying to us even about the name and the act of the podcast. This dude is, I would just say, a sore loser. And I don't know if I have too much respect for him, but I will say I want to start a podcast very soon, and I'm going to. I would be inclined to invite him on. Not really to... As you can tell, I don't really have much good to say, but if he actually went on somewhere and talked about things like candidly instead of this, if someone could pry the truth out of him, I think we'd at least have an interesting conversation. So who knows? Maybe I'll message him. I don't know if I could stand him for that long, though. We'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I just want to say, if you get into this situation, accepting responsibility is pretty much the best thing to do. I don't know where you go from there, but it doesn't start with you pretending it doesn't exist. It doesn't start with you launching a platform or seeing this as a money or opportunity. You got to learn from it. It's sort of like the world telling you to take a step back, learn about yourself, figure out who you want to be, and then move on from there. I don't think he figured that out yet, because all those tendencies, all those lies, all those bad habits still keep showing up. They're just in different ways. That sucks. Anyway, take care of yourselves. I hope I see you on the next one. Thank you.